Hey everyone, welcome to week 18 of the Wild Woman Yoga series. I'm Lexi, and our theme for class today is boundaries. So, you will need just your yoga mat and a blanket to pad your knees if that is supportive for your practice. Get all that, and I will meet you back here. So, we're going to start practice in an easy seat. You can use your blanket to elevate your hips a little bit if you'd like. Just roll it into like a hot dog style and place it right underneath your sit bones to lift them a little bit above your knees. That usually helps to keep the spine straight and just makes the position a little bit more comfortable. And once you arrive in a position that feels good, you can close the eyes or soften your gaze and find a point on the floor. And for today, maybe place the palms facing upward, resting on your knees. And begin to connect to your breath. Taking deep, full breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. If you'd like, you can adopt an Ujjayi breath by making your breathing through the nose audible. And maybe you keep that breath just for now, or you can carry it throughout the entire practice. Relax the jaw, maybe allow some space in between your top and bottom teeth, between your top and bottom lip. And settle in to meet yourself here. And I invite you at this time to bring to mind our theme for class, boundaries. My most favorite definition of boundaries is what is okay and what is not okay. And maybe when you think of setting boundaries in your life, it feels like it has to be aggressive or hard, like you're putting up walls, encasing yourself in some kind of protective shield. But that only encompasses what is not okay, setting boundaries for what is not okay. And for today, maybe we can play with the second half of that definition. What is okay? Opening up to what it is that you want from others, what would feel supportive for you, and embracing all of the vulnerability of having boundaries, of having needs, of having wants. And all the softness that comes with being human and wanting to stand on your own 2 feet, but needing others. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth and let it go. You can flutter your eyes open. And we'll begin with just some movement in the upper body. So bringing the palms up overhead, fingertips to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, cactus the arms so that they're bent at the elbow, almost like a goalpost or a cactus, whatever resonates with you. And just stay here for a couple of breaths, focusing on drawing the shoulder blades together, the tops of the shoulders down away from the ears, and really expanding in the front body. Fingertips can be splayed wide. And shine your chest forward. Inhale, palms touch overhead, fingertips towards the sky. Gaze can follow. And exhale, find your cactus arms again. Chin can tuck down. We'll take that a few more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend at the elbows. 2 more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend. 1 more. Inhale, fingertips towards the sky, palms touch. And exhale, bend at the elbows. Drop your chin. Inhale, arms up, palms touch. This time, exhale, open twist to the right. Your right fingertips touching down on the earth behind you and left fingertips down in front of you. And gaze can just be towards the right. Keeping the hips relaxed, the legs relaxed, as we find this gentle twist for the spine. Inhale, palms touch overhead, come back to center, and exhale, open twist to the left. Left fingertips behind you and right fingertips come in front. Keeping length in the spine from the base of the tailbone all the way to the top of the head. To maintain stability in the spine as you twist. Inhale, palms touch overhead. And exhale, release them down on either side of your hips. You can gently lower the chin to the chest. And let's just do a little neck rolling. So keeping your chin towards your chest and just gently rolling the chin from side to side across the chest. Moving slowly. Maybe keep your eyes closed and just tune into the body, listen to the body. As you roll to the left, maybe the left ear comes down towards the left shoulder and you can hold for a bit, just allowing gravity to gently stretch the neck down. And as you're ready, rolling your chin across the chest to the other side, your right ear coming towards the right shoulder and holding. Maybe noticing the difference between the right and the left side without judgment, just noticing, becoming aware. And then bringing head back to center and lifting the chin, lifting the head forward. Planting your hands on your right side and come up to a tabletop position. So you can unroll your blanket so it's like a hamburger fold, a little bit wider, and bring it down to like the lower third of your mat, a little bit lower than halfway, to pad your knees if that feels good for you. If you don't want to use it, no worries. You could just come straight down onto your mat. So coming into a tabletop position, your wrist lined up underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, stacking your joints. We're going to come into a few rounds of cat-cow, just continuing to wake up the spine. So once you find your alignment, you can take an inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, and exhale, rounding in the back and shoulders, tucking your chin to your chest. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, shining the heart forward, broadening in the chest, tilting the pelvis back, and exhale, rounding in the back, dropping the chin to chest. Maybe the pelvis tips forward. Do a few more rounds like that at your own pace, following your own breath. Maybe extending the space in between your breaths, pausing at the top of your inhale and at the bottom of your exhale. Just finding that liminal space between your breaths. Let's do one more full round. And on your next exhale, tuck the toes, keep the knees bent, and push the ground away from you, coming into downward dog. So keep as much bend in the knees here as you need to keep your torso close to the tops of the thighs. You could also keep a micro bend in your arms if you tend to overextend, pressing the fingertips into the ground as much as the palms and keeping the heels lifted if that feels good for you. You can begin to straighten the legs if you'd like, but if the torso starts to lift off the tops of the thighs, then just keep the bend in the knees. Focus more on lengthening from the tips of the fingers all the way up the arms, back, and to your hips. And you can kind of pedal out the feet here if you'd like. Drop the head and shake out the head. Yes, and shake out the head. No. Releasing in the neck. And maybe finding some stillness and just taking 3 deep breaths. And as you're ready, bringing the right foot in between the hands. If it's better for you, you can lower the knees to the ground and then help that right foot in between the hands. Perfectly fine. Any downward dog you can pretty much substitute for a tabletop. So dropping the top of the left foot here. We're going to come into a low lunge. Actually, first let's find a little movement. I'm finding my body's like, no, don't be still yet. Okay, so we're gonna find some back and forth movement, bending into the right knee, keeping the left leg active so you're not dumping all your weight into the left knee, and keeping the hands on either side of the right leg. So you're going to alternate between bending into the right knee and then straightening the right knee and walking the hands back towards the body. You can also flex the toes as you straighten the right leg, and then walking the hands forward and bending into the right knee. Being mindful to continue that deep breathing as you open up in the right hip. And just explore here. Maybe again you pause as you bend and pause again as you extend the right leg. Finding the space in between the movements. And then as you're ready, bending into that right knee again so that the right knee stacks over the right ankle. And lifting the torso up, you can keep this left leg perpendicular to the floor if you'd like, keeping both legs at a 90-degree angle like that. If it feels better for your knee, sometimes that feels a little bit better. Or if you'd like, you can really bend into that right knee and find some extension in the right hip here. So play around, see what feels good for you. And we're going to hold here for a little bit, so find the most comfortable position. So once you find that alignment, that variation that works for you, drawing the right hip back energetically and softening the left hip forward. Clasp your hands, palms together, fingers interlaced behind you at your sacrum. Just allow the arms to be long, draw them down, shoulders away from your ears. And once again, opening in the front body. And just focus on that broadening in the chest. And breathe here. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Take one more. Okay, take a deep breath in and exhale. Bring the hands down to frame the right foot and straighten that right leg, shifting the hips back, weight back. And you can flex the right toes back towards your shin. Coming up on the fingertips or palms to the earth. Still finding length in the spine. And taking a few breaths here, sending the breath to maybe the hamstring, the back of the thigh, wherever feels a little bit tight. And bending into the right knee. Pointing the right toes towards the top left corner of your mat. Bringing your right hand to the inside of the right foot. We're going to come into like a toe stand, skandasana type pose. So coming up onto the ball of your right foot and lifting the left knee off the ground, coming onto either the big toe side of the left foot or up onto the heel. Whatever feels most stable for you. And again, you can keep the right heel lifted or bring it to the ground if you have that in your practice. Keeping it lifted is totally fine. And if you'd like, you can keep your hands on the earth and breathe here. Or you can come all the way up. Maybe your hands come in prayer. Whatever is calling to you. And listen to your body. Is it telling you this is not okay? I don't like this. You can always come out. The same way we came in. You can pivot back to the front. You can just come into something with less range of movement. So maybe bringing that right foot down to relax. Taking some of the strain off of the back of the left leg. The left foot down. And as you're ready, bringing big toe edge of your left foot down to the earth and straightening the right leg, coming both soles down to the earth and toes pointed towards the long side of the mat. Maybe you shift that left foot back a bit, finding some alignment between the arches of the feet, lining up. Let's just take a wide-legged forward fold here. You can drop the head, hinge at the hips. And you can take this opportunity to move the blanket to the big toe edge of your right foot. Walking your hands to the back of the mat, turning your toes to the back of the mat to follow, and lowering the right knee, top of the right foot down. We're going to find that same back and forth movement on this side. So alternating between bending into the left knee and straightening the left leg, flexing the toes back towards the shin and walking the hands back. And just playing here a little bit, back and forth. And next time the left knee is bent, keeping it bent, left knee stacked over left ankle. And again, you can press this right hip forward if you like, or keep it stacked over the right knee. Wherever you are, finding a position that's comfortable, and then bringing the palms to touch, fingers clasped together at your sacrum behind you. And breathing into the front body once again, drawing the left hip energetically back, and then softening the right hip forward. Let's take a few breaths here. Three more. And then unclasping the hands, bringing them to frame the left foot, and sending the hips back, straightening the left leg, left toes flex back towards the shins, staying on the palms or up on the fingertips, whatever gives you the most length in the spine from the tailbone to the crown of the head, rather than rounding too much. This is a great stretch to incorporate blocks in. You could always bring blocks underneath your hands. And bending into the left knee, facing the left toes towards the back right corner of your mat, and bringing the left hand to the inside of the left foot, coming up onto either the right heel or keeping the right big toe edge towards the ground. And you can stay with your left foot fully in contact with the ground or come up on your left toes. Again, you can keep the palms or fingertips on the earth, or come all the way up, your hands at heart center. Let's take a few breaths here. And then as you're ready, bringing the right foot fully in contact with the ground, right sole to the earth, and walking the hands in between the feet. You may need to step the left foot forward a bit to align the arches. And once again, find a wide-legged forward fold. You can use this as an opportunity to shift your blanket if you're using one, and just move it towards the big toe edge of your left foot. Walking the hands to the top of the mat, toes come to follow, hands frame the right foot. You're going to step your left foot to meet the right. Inhale, halfway, lifting the torso to a flat back, and exhale, just fold forward. You can heel toe the feet about hips width distance apart and staying in this forward fold for just a few breaths. From here, bending the knees generously, bring the hands to clasp again at your sacrum. And then allow the hands to lift off the back. Maybe your knuckles come towards the sky. Just a gentle stretch for the shoulders, keeping the knees bent for stability. And then releasing the hands down to the earth, stepping the left foot back behind your blanket if you're using one. And lower the left knee, top of the left foot, and walk your right foot out towards the outer edge of your mat, bringing the right hand on the inside of the right foot, coming into lizard pose. So the right toes can turn slightly outward. Right knee can even splay towards the right side. And maybe shift the hips from side to side, exploring this pose. What does this feel like in your body today? Because that could be different than yesterday and different than tomorrow. We're always changing. As you're ready, bringing the left hand to the center of the mat in front of you. And you can lift the right hand, fingertips towards the sky. You might need to look down, adjust the left hand so that your left wrist is kind of stacked under your left shoulder. Just twisting open to the right side. You can bring the gaze to follow the right fingertips. And you can stay here, or if you'd like, you can bend the left knee and bring your right hand to clasp the left foot. And if you're in this variation, just shining your chest towards the right side, breathing into that left quad. And coming out at any time. If you're still here, let's take one more deep breath. And exhale, release the left foot to the ground. Bring the right hand down to the inside of the right foot. And tuck the left toes, lifting the left knee, and using the left foot as a little bit of a spring to bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand. So you're here in Malasana squat with your feet turned slightly out. And you don't have to bring your heels all the way to the ground if that's not comfortable for you. And if you have a block, or if you even want to roll up your blanket and place it underneath your sit bones, you can do that. And wherever you are, finding length from the base of the spine all the way to the top of the head. Hands can stay for stability on the earth, maybe fingertips towards on the earth, or hands in prayer with your elbows kind of pressing into the sides of your knees. Listen to the body. Try out the different variations and then stick with the one in which your body says yes. Noticing if there is any unnecessary tension that you can release. Maybe in the hips or thighs, even in the face. As you're ready, planting the hands in front of you and straightening the legs, heel toeing the feet so they're about hips width distance apart. On an inhale, coming up to a flat back, and on an exhale, folding forward. Taking one or two breaths here, and then framing the feet with your hands, stepping back with the right foot, and then the left into a plank position. And let's hold here for a few breaths, maybe 5 breaths. Being active in the arms, pushing the ground away from you. One more breath. Lowering the knees to the earth, lowering the tops of the feet to the earth, and bending at the elbows to lower the belly, chest. And let's take a little bit of time here. Maybe bringing the forearms, stacking the forearms in front of you, and lowering the forehead to the forearms. Maybe shifting the hips from side to side. Being gentle with the body, allowing rest. And then as you're ready, lifting the head, bringing the hands on either side of your rib cage and pressing into upward dog. So tops of the feet stay in contact with the earth, torso lifts, straightening the arms, and you can lift the tops of the thighs or keep the thighs on the ground if this is more supportive for you. Shining the chest forward, chin lifted, and then pressing back into downward dog. From here, stepping the left foot in between the hands, dropping the right knee, top of the right foot, and bringing that left hand to the inside of the left foot, walking the left foot out to the edge of the mat. Toes can be pointed slightly outward. Just allow that knee to fall to the side as well. Finding lizard on the left side now. And again, just maybe finding a little bit of organic movement in the hips, shifting your weight around, and exploring this position and in this side of the body. As you're ready, bringing the right hand down at the center of the mat in front of you and opening the left hand up towards the sky. You can stay here in this like open twist variation, or if you'd like, you can bend the right knee and clasp onto that right foot with the left hand. Yeah, for some reason, my right side is so much tighter than my left. You might find the same. Maybe you can do something on one side that you can't do on the other, and that's totally fine. Just honoring where your body is. Let's take a few more breaths here. And then lowering the left hand to meet the right. Bringing the hips back forward. And stepping the left foot back. So you're back into this tabletop position. Let's find child's pose. Either keeping the knees together to support the chest or bringing the big toes together. Knees come about as wide as the mat. Send the hips back towards the heels. Walk the hands out in front of you. Palms to the earth. Forehead to the earth. As you're ready, pressing back up to your tabletop. And then lowering the belly all the way down to the earth. At this point, you can remove your blanket if you'd like, if it's kind of bothering you. I think I'm just going to keep it. And bring your forearms out in front of you, parallel to each other, palms down to the earth. Elbows stacked underneath your shoulders. We're finding Sphinx pose here. Thighs and tops of the feet pressing into the earth and broadening in the chest. Keeping length in the neck. Bring the gaze forward, chin lifted. You may feel some sensation in your back. This is a bit of a back bend. If at any point it becomes uncomfortable and you'd like to come out of it, you can just extend the arms a bit, stack the forearms, and bring your forehead to the forearms, just like we did before. But if you'd like to stay for a few breaths, focus more on opening in the front body rather than crunching in the back body. I had a yoga teacher that said she much preferred calling back bends front openers. It's like a better way to think about it. I have this aunt that just wants to do yoga with me. Okay. So if this is a good amount of sensation for you, you can stay here, continue to breathe and lengthen. If you'd like, you can come in to seal pose, bringing the fingertips towards the corners of the mat, so bringing them out like a 45-degree angle, grounding in the palms, and then pressing up, so straightening the arms, but keeping that same intention of broadening in the front body, chin lifted. And maybe you stay here for a bit and you come out. You can come in and out of Sphinx and Seal if you like. And wherever you are, bending in the elbows, bringing the forearms out in front of you if you're not already there, stacking the forearms and just lowering the forehead to the forearms. Bend the knees, toes towards the sky, and just windshield wiper the shins from side to side. And bringing the feet back to center. You can lower them to the earth and find your way onto your back. If your blanket is still there, you can hot dog roll it and put it underneath your knees if you'd like, or you could just put it to the side. And as you come to your back, check in to see if there is anything, any final pose that your body is calling for, even if it's a pose that's not really a pose, just a movement that your body wants. Maybe you come into happy baby. It's always a lovely way to end practice. You can draw the knees in, grab onto the backs of the knees or the ankles or the outside of the feet, pulling the knees in towards the armpits and just rocking gently from side to side. Or like I said, any other position or movement that would feel good for you. And then eventually extending the legs out long, bringing the feet about as wide as the mat and allowing them to just splay outward, legs to roll outward, making room for the whole body. Hands come a little ways away from your sides. Just relax the hands, palms facing upward. Relax the belly. Relax the shoulders. Just allow yourself to be fully supported by the earth beneath you. And the next time that you hear my voice, I will be guiding you out. So for now, just enjoying Shavasana. As you're ready, just beginning to deepen the breath, taking deep, full breaths into the belly. Drawing your awareness back in to the body, bringing some small movement to the fingers and toes. Keeping your eyes closed as you come onto one side of the body, either the right or left. And eventually, slowly and gently, pressing yourself up to a seated position. And whatever way you normally cross your legs, just for now, cross them in the opposite way, keeping the palms facing upward. And remembering our theme of boundaries, and all the seeming opposites, the opposing energies that are contained in that word, that it requires us to say what is okay and also what is not, requires us maybe to close off in some situations and open in others, to stand our ground, but soften our fronts. Maybe ask yourself in this moment, or take this inquiry with you, why am I afraid to set boundaries? What fears come up when I think about setting boundaries? Because inevitably there will be fears. There's reasons that we don't do things. There's reasons we don't set limits or ask for what we need. There's always a reason. And maybe bring your right palm to your heart and left palm on top of it. And just remind yourself that it's okay to be afraid. It's okay not to be ready. It's okay just to be scared. But also reminding yourself that it will be okay. Whatever happens. You are whole. You are complete. You are okay. Within the boundaries of this perfect, whole, complete body. I thank you so much for sharing practice with me today. Be well, and namaste.